we should be live. Give me just a second while I pop out chat. And wait, why did it? That was weird. I moved my YouTube window over to the other screen and it somehow dragged my OBS there with it. Okay. Oh, no, that's a different one. Okay, I thought I was looking at the wrong thing. All right. For a second, I thought I had set it to members only, and I was like, no, 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 no. This is for everyone. View your channel. Get my live. Okay, Papa this chat auto. Yo, Grumpy, what's up, dude? Man, always happy to see you on here, man. Pop out chat. I'm just always happy to see like you're on first and everything. That's super cool, man. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the thumbnail is actually a map. I just finished drawing it. How do I move to Japan? Well, since your name, Dan, actually rhymes with Japan, like you can pretty much just get in for free. I would say go down to your local harbor, look for like a boat, like one of the big freighter boats that has like a flag of Japan on it, and just like hop on. You should be there in like 13 weeks. Hey, Dan, what's up? Dan W. I was talking to Dan Lee first about the whole... Okay, just so you know, Dan, like Dan Lee and I, we go way back. I'm not telling you to hop onto a freighter. Dan W. Can I be a doctor? Yeah. You can actually, since you are, you see how it says #1 for you, Dan Lee? Because you are #1, the grand prize for being #1 on this stream entitles you to be a multifaceted doctor/manga artist. And I mean, you are on your way, dude. You just asking that question, qualified for everyone. In fact, wait, hold on, guys, I got a call. Yes? Of course, Prime Minister. Right away, Prime Minister. Dan, the Prime Minister just called. You are actually going to be the new head of the government's medical wing, and also the leader of Kyoto Manga. So, I mean, congratulations, dude. You really hit the jackpot on this one. Sorry, Grumpy. If you had only been a millisecond sooner. Yeah, hey, Dan, no problem. Just make sure you give me like a shout out, give my channel a shout out, like when you're head of medical and manga in Japan. I'd really appreciate it, you know. Like, if you could, perhaps, you know, in your next manga that you put out, just like put the URL for my channel. Yeah. Guys, 4 prayers sends Dan to Japan, all right? For every prayer and every like counts as 1 extra mile closer to Japan for Dan. Dan Lee, by the way. No. No. After I get you both the leader of the medical program and manga all throughout Japan. No. All right, well, fair enough. Hopefully the next winter will take it. I haven't caught up with your stuff recently, but how was your summer trip to Japan? It was good. It was lovely. Gosh, it was good. It just seems so fast. I know I'm there for like 2 months. I think this time was almost like two months and a few days, and God dang, it feels like I take a couple naps there and I'm back in 2 weeks. It really does feel like just like a couple weeks. I can't believe how fast it goes. I actually spent the whole summer writing my book, which I don't know. Have I updated you guys about like it's getting? Not only is it getting edited right now, but I actually am putting it through layout design. Man, oh man, they're catching like a bunch of stuff where I'm like, oh, why didn't I do that before? That's why you need like an editor and a layout designer. You know, I can do all the art, I could do all the writing. I finished all that. I spent the whole summer finally putting it all together. But I feel like the reason you need editors and layout designers is because like after you've like kind of gone through this kind of blitzkrieg of like just, I guess it's almost like just taking all the creativity inside of you and just wringing it out when you're both illustrating and writing a book. like you almost don't want to touch it again for a really long time. I don't know how else to explain this, but it's a weird feeling. Like you've worked so hard on it that you're like almost sick of it. Of course, when you get to see the final product, you're, I'm sure, very happy, very proud. But I mean, I really like. I mean, every day I woke up and just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. It was. I've never done anything like that before. It was pretty wild. Um, you need fresh eyes. Yes, yes, exactly. Grumpy. Yeah. I mean, it just. As far as I know, I was like, all right, finish. I'm done. Like I spell checked it and did grammar checks and should be finished. And I'm like, no, this is the first thing I'm ever gonna put up online. I was like, first I asked a friend who I had done a bunch of artwork for. I did almost all of it for free because it's just he was going through a hard time. Um, in fact, let me give his stuff a shout out. You guys can check it out. Give me just a second, because this guy he's still really struggling. Like he's been out of work for a while, and it's due to like no fault of his own. It's some kind of like I forget what the name of it is, but it's a like the equivalent to like bone spurs or like something that goes wrong with like the bones in your foot. Like it's just from like just being alive for a long time. I mean, he's not like ancient or anything, but why is this like this? That's weird. Okay, give me just a second. His name's Terry Wesnett, but I don't know. I don't know the name of every single thing he published. There's quite a few of them. Let me move this over to the other side. There's quite a few of them, and I've worked on quite a few of them. Drive through RPG. I know the most recent one I did was called The Cat's Paw. Verifying you are human. Okay, weird, but okay. It doesn't come up first. That sucks. Cat's Paw. Where is it at? Oh my god, there's so many things called cats in here. What the hell? I don't know. I've never searched to buy anything I've ever worked on because I get it for free. Like, that's always part of the deal. I want a copy of whatever you make. Cat's Paw. The Cat's Paw? Maybe I got it wrong.
All right, you can come up here, but there's no chicken anymore. I ate all the chicken, you big fat son.
Oh, God! You're a cat and a half at this point. All right. Cats. The Cat's Paw. You guys are like, dude, can you shut up about this and just move on, Scott? The Cat's Paw. Isn't that what he... Maybe... I thought that was the title that he went with. What are these? Oh my god, this is like... I don't know, just someone else published something on here and it's got like the worst... Hold on, I'll share screen. It's so bad, dude. Like I don't know why they chose this. Okay, I've got to show it because it's just so bad. Window capture, properties, drive through RPG. Like they made a bunch of publications and put this like really shitty. Like I'm not out to like slam anybody's work because I know what it takes to go through all that. But I mean, this is just like this looks like a little kid's first time using paint. Like what the Outcats. I guess this is an RPG about this. Like, cause like okay, look at the one like right next to it. Like hand drawn, beautiful lighting and everything. Obviously, like a professional level digital designer. And then you've got The Outcats by Paul. What? Like you can see everything else looks like really professional, but then it's his, and he's done like 50 bajillion books of this. What the hell? Oh, I do like this though. Someone, hold on. This window is way too goddamn big. I don't know why. It's like a. All right. I like Cthulhu. That's kind of really awesome. Hold on. Give me a second here. There we go. Whoa. I'm way too big. Come on, Scott. Let's kind of get our narcissism in there, but. Scimitar Pets. All right, hold on. I'll see what the other name is. Maybe that's not the final title he went with. Oh shoot, I got a bunch of messages I never answered. Why does this always happen? I've been reading that the guy who may have actually be a can't answer this right now. Okay. It's about. I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's like something my friend's saying about the whole Charlie Kirk thing. I'm not going to talk about that at all. All I can say is, like, no matter what your beliefs are, don't cheer for a man with two young daughters being killed. Like, that's just not. Like, whatever you believe, man. I hate to see a father taken away from his young daughters who will never see him grow up. That's, and I'm far left. I'm not a fan of the inhumanity of cheering for the death of a father. All right, let's see. Let's see. Oh, it's all one word. That's why I'm getting it wrong. Cat's paw. What? No. Dude, I'm definitely not ordering this. Get this off my screen. What do you guys think on this? You guys gonna be buying the Outcats pretty soon? Cat's paw. Oh, there it is. First one to come up. Okay, I thought so. I was like, wait, have I been doing all these and he's not publishing any of it? That would run me for a loop. Oh, come on. What the hell? I'm trying to resize this damn thing so it fits in. Hold on. Okay. Anyway, it's this one where the little girl's sitting with the cat. I don't know. Does it let us see on the inside? Like any of the art or anything? No, it doesn't give us any glimpses. Okay, I can look at the other ones, though, that he's got. Dreamer in the Dark. No, I didn't do that one. Dark Vermin. Derelict Cruiser Bundle. What else did he do? Greenscape. I did a few other ones with this guy. Give me just a second. Let me just see if I can... Wait, is this his personal company? Oh, there's the other one. What is it called? The Signal. That's right. The Signal. It doesn't... Oh, preview. There we go. There you go. You can... Why is this so big, dude? Oh my god. Am I covering up chat? What happened to chat? It disappeared. What? How did I knock chat off? I didn't close that window. Okay, sorry guys. I was like, why is nobody responding? Sorry, this is my first day using a computer, so just bear with me. Okay, give me a second. Let me go back into it. Yeah, there's the guy, man. I don't know. The world's a scary place now. All the violence. Oh, it's scary. Alright, let me get back in here. And let me go back through your stuff so I can make sure I didn't miss anybody. Pop out chat. Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. Why did it all disappear? Alright. Window capture. YouTube chat. Okay. Okay. Oh man, I can't read it from back there. Let me move it over to this monitor. Okay, sorry I've missed all these comments, guys. Alright, Scott, I know you tend to avoid talking about U.S. Oh, well, someone asked it right as I started to talk about it. Wow, that's almost kind of like... Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on Charlie Kirk's death is, like, I'm far left-leaning. I'm not super far left-leaning, but I'm pretty far left. Um, you know, I'm pro-choice. I'm fine with LGBTQ+. I've got, friends from everywhere. I've got hard-right conservative friends as well, who I love very much, too. But... I did see a few of my leftist friends like celebrating this, and I just was disgusted. There's you can't don't celebrate the assassination of a man who has two young daughters and's only lived to the age of 31. I cannot get behind that, dude. That's pure inhumanity. Whether you agreed with him or not, that doesn't matter, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, guns solve zero arguments. I'm not a fan of, making something political violent. Um, Hope you're doing good, Scott. I'm doing pretty good, Kakuse. Thank you for telling me that, though. I appreciate it. Nothing wrong with that, man. That is why there are for to make those final catches for ya. You need. Oh yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. Oh yeah, you're talking about the book. Okay, sorry, I'm just catching up, guys. It's been a while since I've been on your channel. I hope you're doing well. I am, Paul. Thank you, and thank you for joining, Paul. I've never seen you on a live stream, so that's cool. A demon spotted. You guys saw a demon? Was it that? Was it that book cover I showed you? Was that the demonic? That one, the one that looked like it had been done in paint by a 2-year-old blind child. No offense to 2-year-old blind children. Okay. Jonah, glad you're here, dude. He makes the cover art for these books. I don't do the cover art for these. I do the internal drawings. Wait, let's bring it back up. Now that I've closed it back up, I am the most disorganized streamer ever. I think that's the thing that makes my channel so great. Okay, where did it go? There we go. Yeah, you can tell that that's my style right there, right? I wonder if there's anything else. Does it go down any farther? I've got a bunch inside of here. It was a really interesting one. It was about this. It was a sci-fi based RPG where you like why does it not let me go back? Oh, I gotta just go. No. Okay, there we go. What was the other one I did? The Cursed Place. I think I did this one. Let me check. The Cursed Place. Oh yeah, that's definitely me. Anything more? He only shows one page. Okay, that's okay. I mean, I understand. He doesn't want to give the whole thing away. No, I didn't do the covers. This guy actually, the guy who, asked me to do this, he does his own digital art, and he's actually like really good. Like when he showed me, he's like, I'm gonna mix you with this artist. Is that okay? And I'm like, yeah. I just want to say though that this other artist, he's really great. And he's like, oh, well, thank you. It's my art. And I was like, dude, why are you hiring me to draw for you? You're already an incredible artist. He's like, I just like to mix it up. I like to have different styles inside. And I was just like, what? Anyway, Terry, if you want to like donate to a good cause, this poor guy, he's working nonstop on writing endless modules, and they're really well written. Like I've read through them. They've got like kind of good plot twists. They're kind of a little bit out there with like the dark sort of cosmic terror and stuff like that. He can't do his normal job where he has to. I don't know exactly what he did for it. I want to say it was something within construction, and he just can't because he's got like some kind of bone thing that occurred in his foot. He had a picture the other day on Facebook with like this massive scar because they had just done more surgery on it. But think about this. Instead of just like being like, oh, I give up, he's just madly typing away, publishing as much as he can. He said, like, at the very least, it's a small stream that trickles in, even though I can't work. I mean, that's a dude, pulling himself up by his bootstraps and like, And I gotta say, the cool thing was I saw the other day too, he's one of my few leftist friends who said, nobody should be cheering this on. This is disgusting. Like, don't cheer on the assassination of a young father. And that really made me feel like, dude, Terry's a good dude, man. We both have the same kind of beliefs that are more like liberal and stuff like that, but like humanity should come first, guys, no matter what, too. I can't. Don't cheer on violence. Same thing I said with the Luigi situation. Look, I get why everybody's upset, and wants Luigi to go free and all this stuff, but we can't condone assassination. We cannot. Technical, yeah, dude. Technical difficulties is, that's kind of my trademark. You know, you wouldn't feel Natsukaishi and waxing nostalgic with me if I wasn't doing it. Um, you don't feel like I'm not saying you necessarily have to feel bad for him, but I'm hoping people are against violence. That's my hope, man. Like you don't have to agree with anything anybody says, but I want to see at least like peaceful talk. Mm, I don't know. You know, my hope is one day again, like it was in the 1990s or 80s. Both us liberals and my friends, many of my friends who are very conservative, can sit down at the table again and just we can listen to each other, we can hear each other out, we can respect each other, um, but we don't have to agree with each other. You know, I don't know. As much gory and disgusting, weird, dark, violent, crazy stuff I love to write and draw, I can't condone violence in real life. It's just not. It's it's just not the path I want to watch humanity go down. Um, you know, doing anything by the force of violence or guns or whatever. I just can't. I can't. I love my fellow humans too much. Ah. All right, all right, all right. Can we turn the tone off of like political stuff? Look, I understand both of you guys have like very different views on it. Even me and Jonah do too. But like at the end of the day, like let's all just let's all just be thankful it's Friday and chill and relax. It's going good now, winter. I'm really happy it's Friday. Um, I started like the first setup for a monochromatic piece that I posted recently. It's going to be for my incoming illustration and advanced painting class. Um, this year, my goal is to take them through underdrawings to underdraw. What was it? Gushing? Oh yeah, I just started to storm like crazy. Underdrawing to ink. From there, we're gonna move on to underdrawing and watercolor. Then underdrawing. I don't know. I'm thinking about having tempera in between, from going watercolor to acrylic. I'm thinking watercolor, tempera, acrylic, and I know this sounds kind of crazy, but I'm thinking of going to oil. Maybe taking my kids to oil this time, my students. Um, how much did you miss? You didn't really miss anything, man. You're good. We were just me having some technical difficulties. We're all good now, though. Yeah, it just started. Here, let's make it like this. I think this is how the stream should look. Hey, everyone. It's me, Unrested. In your face. Should I just do it like that? What do you guys think? I should have like a lot of sound effects. No, I don't want to move that. Like that. What was the movie? Oh my God, I'm forgetting everything now. Um, Inception, where the boom. I should have that every time. If people have that, like if they have like applause, laughter, cheering, or whatever kind of button, and they just like excessively hit it, I can't watch whatever they're making. Like I'm just like, what? What? Why are we doing this? Like I don't know, man. It just drives me nuts. It either makes me think like, is this person like an obsessed narcissist, or do they really have to fill this much dead air that they have to keep hitting these sound effects? I was watching one guy. He kept using that. And he'd be like, and then you know what they said? They said this. And what you just gave us wasn't that epic. I'm not sure why you're playing that sound. Um, Definitely unsubscribe from me if I ever start playing sound effects and stuff like that. I started starting mangas and not finishing them. Oh man, you sound like me, non-winner. I'm kind of the same way. I don't know. Like I do that a lot with anime series. I can't tell you like Banana Fish, Goodnight World, um, Hunter x Hunter, where I'll start watching them and I'll be like, hey, yeah, where is this going? Wait, what? Okay, this is getting by. That's it. Like I have the same like it's always this like whoa I found something really cool. All right, where's this going? This plot seems really cool. All right, okay. All right, man. I guess that's kind of cool. Mm, that's not what I thought was gonna happen. Okay, we're still talking about this. All right, bye. I guess I never finished the whole Naruto series because of that too. I must have watched like hundreds of those. It feels like, and I got so sick of the fights being like, if I decide to do a jump kick, he's gonna double think my jump kick and use a decisive ninja cloud. That ninja cloud, and you're just like, can you guys just fight instead of talking about it for 5 hours in your head? Oh, making. Oh, sorry. Wow, I just totally took that in a whole different direction. Making a manga and then stopping. I mean, that kind of makes sense if you think about it. How many times do you start writing something and then you rewrite it and then you rewrite it again, or you. Who's riding a motorcycle around super loud at this time of the night? Um, yeah. Low Poly, what's up? Low Poly and I were just recently getting really nostalgic. We were talking about our old Minecraft server that we were on with Kaizen, who still lives in Japan. I once in a while check in on Kaizen, see how he's doing. Um, Great guy. Always provided us a free place to play Minecraft online. You can have a laugh track going like a sitcom. Yeah, I think people would definitely unsubscribe. I think they definitely sign off for that one. They'd be like, oh, okay. Little Unrested here thinks everything he's saying is a big old giggle. No thank you, sir. Bye, I'm gone. I don't know. Any kind of track, any kind of like excessive noise that you play over and over again, and it may just be the ADHD in me. I just get sick of it. I can't stand it. Like it's weird. I let them chat in class at a level 1, so I give them time at the beginning. I say this first 5 minutes are my 5 minutes. You do not talk during this time, and I will explain you the instructions. You may ask questions as soon as I finish, but do not interrupt me in this 5 minutes, or you will get moved to the back. And they always do it. They let me get through the whole thing. They're very polite. My kids are good kids. All my students, mostly for the most part. And then at the end, I'll be like, any questions? Blah, 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 blah. The only problem I ever have with questions is just like the really, really young kids. Like, they never like ask a question. They just start telling me a story. All right, today we're doing this alligator project. Questions? My dog, it, one time, my dog, yeah, where's this, is this a question? My dog see alligator and it bark. I'm like, okay, questions. Like those are what, how do I, can I? Yes, in the back. I need tissue. Okay. Okay. Um, I think Kai is still doing something like that. I don't know if it's Apple. He's doing IT for some big corporation and doing quite well for himself. So I mean, good on him, dude. Um, he's kind of living the dream, kind of. I mean, he's got a badass job outside of English teaching, which he also had to do at the beginning. That's why I always say, like, get your foot in the door with English and then, live your dreams from there. Become a doctor like Dan Lee did. Become a doctor and a manga artist like Dan Lee did. The only subscriber I've ever had who's done both of those jobs in Japan. Yeah, he was a stay-at-home dad for a while because he was really struggling to find a job. Anyway, where was I going with all this? What were we talking about? Oh, that's like way too pixelated. What the hell? I'm like way too zoomed in on this to the point that it's super, super pixelated. Anyway, this is what I've been working on. This is like a really low res version of it. But this is the whole map for my new RPG that's coming out. But yeah, right now I've got it being edited, layout, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think that's what the problem was, low poly. What sucks though is like in his home country, like he made like a killing. I mean, like not actually killing people, but he made like a ton of money for what he did. He like ran his own business and everything like that. But I think he loved living in Japan, so you know, I don't know. People have asked me recently. They're like, "Is there anything that would make you permanently move back to Japan?" And I'm just like, it would have to be like a really good job offer, and not to, I'm not saying that to sound cocky or anything like that. Be like, well, I only get offered the best jobs ever because I'm unrested. No, I don't think I ever would be offered that kind of job. If it was like voice acting or character design for a video game, or I guess like writing for a video game, I would probably do that. That'd be pretty fun. I haven't worked in Blender enough to like be a good digital artist for that. I could definitely do like the digital art or sketches or whatever for like character designs and stuff like that. How you always have like the pre-drafts and stuff like that. I think I could hold my own in that. Um, and then I guess I would have to be paid like a, a decent wage. 46 years old. I hope I can, you know, put a little bit of experience behind my resume and ask for a livable wage. I'd hope so, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen. When's the Resident Evil streams? How soon does the new Resident Evil game come out? Anybody know? Um, let's see here. I gotta answer my friend over here in a second. Okay. Um. Should we check? How about we just check? No, I don't. Okay. What is this? Did I accidentally? Oh, I opened Explorer. Who the hell uses that? No, how? Oh, I see. It's its own app when I do that, and then it opens in Explorer. That's weird. Okay, give me just a second here. Let me shrink this down. This thing's so damn big. It's kind of ridiculous. And pull it down to there. I don't want to cover up chat. I'd rather cover up my dumb face. Yeah. Oh, I thought like a bug crawled on me. It was my cat. Oh, I was like, how am I making the screen so much smaller for my video? And then I realized, no, that's your video inside your video, dum dum. Okay. Which capture is this? That's the one. Okay, let's do this. Let's go in. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm definitely getting, not Resident Evil, Silent Hill before that. Oh, February 27th. Damn, it only took me 100 years. How did you beat me to it, Eric? Is Japan still suck in the old school work culture for the? Yeah, sadly it does, Dan. I think honestly, I feel like that's one of the things killing the whole repopulation of Japan. Like, why does anyone want to have a kid in that situation? Like, they just watched their father go through years of toil, and now their money's worthless because the Japanese yen keeps going down. Although recently it went up like a bunch for just one day. It was weird. I don't understand. Probably there's some economic reason for that that I don't get. Where's my image again? No, that's the wrong camera. There it is. Um, that's that's probably one of the big things that keeps people from having families. You know what I mean? I mean that, and like they don't pay a very good livable wage unless like you've got some kind of like hoity-toity corporate job. And like, who wants to raise a family while you're still living with your own family? I can't imagine that in Japan, where like the houses are pretty damn small. I love my mother-in-law, um, and my sister-in-laws too. Um, Even my brother-in-laws. I don't ever want to live with them while I'm trying to raise a family. I mean, it's just too small in Japan. So, I mean, and then people, they say like, oh yeah, but like real estate's super cheap now. Super cheap how? Like, yeah, you can get that free Akia house, but then maintenance isn't free. Like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes people don't understand like a bunch of the problems that come along with number one, owning a house, owning property, and number two, raising a family. I feel like the people who are always suggesting this in Japan, I'm not saying here like in America. I don't think many Americans comment on this sort of thing. But either number one, it's like a high level politician who's already had gobs of money shoved into their pockets from lobbyists, or it's just like, one of the younger politicians who hasn't even had or started a family yet, who's in like some, low end. They're like, I'm able to survive in an apartment by myself on my like small wage I make as an early, like a first tier level diet politician. And it's like, yeah, that's great. Have you thought about trying to start a family or seen what like the costs that go into it? That the average like raising a kid from baby all the way up to what is legally an adult in Japan, 20, is somewhere around 22 million yen, which I mean, like, not everybody's carrying around that kind of pocket change. Take away condoms and boom, more babies. I mean, that won't really make much of a difference in Japan. I mean, you can, like, please understand Japan's like got all kinds of different contraceptives, and like abortion is totally like, to them that's not a big deal. Like everybody's pro-choice. They're like, yeah, of course. Like from their perspective, you got to understand like their background is in Shintoism mixed with Buddhism, and within those religions, when a baby's born, it's not even considered fully human yet. It's half spirit still. That's why you have the 357 celebration. So if like you decide to abort your baby, it just goes back into like the cycle of like, oh well, it'll get another chance to be born again. And I mean, I'm not. That's fine. Like, that's their beliefs. I'm not judging it. I'm just letting you know like how it works. Oh, $2 to shut up. Thank you. Um, what Dan means is he wants me to shut up anybody who doesn't like my stream. So thank you, Dan. Thank you for standing behind me on that. And yes, please shut up if you don't like my stream, just like Dan Lee says. And that's a big $2 to tell you to shut up, guys, okay? No one come in here hating. Have we ever had haters come into the stream? I don't think we ever have. We've had like weirdos. Um, like we've had some kind of like weird incidents happen in the past. But I don't think we've ever had like a straight up like, I hate you, Mr. Unrested, you suck. We've had people like question stuff from my past, like be like, why did you make Mira quit making videos? Kanada Jin was my favorite YouTuber ever. I don't think I made that decision for her. Oh damn! Look at all those prayers from Dan. Dang, thank you, man. Let's see how many. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. That's 7 prayers for any of my haters. All right. So even if you're a hater of my stream, Dan and I are both. We're praying for your soul because we know you're already going down the wrong path. Um, have we? Jonah, Eric, like, do you got? Has anyone ever come on here and like just started hating? Has it ever happened? I don't think we've ever had that. The only thing we've ever had is that one that was like, "Do you like yoga?" Well, I love women. We're just like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what? What's going on?" We had that one guy who was kind of lecherous, who was kind of like hitting on every single girl in chat, which was I don't know if they were drunk or what was going on, but it was uncomfortable. Um, have we had any other like really weird incidents? I swear there's been some times where it's like chat bots or AI comes in and they usually they try to take it into a weird direction. Oh, we did have the one guy who was like angry I wasn't like hardcore Christian. Which I mean like I'll never understand that perspective. Like hating on people for not being hardcore Christian probably not going to make them convert to Christianity like anytime soon. Like I don't that was a weird situation. Yeah. Jonah, you're right. Like that's the one I'm thinking of. Is that one guy who was like, "How can you believe that Jesus isn't the true God?" It's like, I mean, he might be, but then all the gods might be Jesus, and Jesus might be all the gods. Um, yeah, I think I think that's the closest we've ever had to haters in here. I don't know. It's weird. Like a long time ago, back when people actually used to watch my channel, it's it's um it's getting harder and harder to get views, man. You know what it is? Is that new? Have you guys seen that? That new, what is it called? Sorry, hold on. This thing is digging into my side. Give me just a second. Ugh. It's just my phone holder. That's all it is. But it's when you sit down and you lean over to a microphone, it just starts like ripping into your sides. There's this new restriction, like restricted media or something like that you have to switch it off. Damn, dude, that took a hit. Like, it's not just me. It's like even some of my favorite like Avalanche reviews and stuff like that. His income, he like straight up showed his income, like what he makes from YouTube, which I thought he made more, but he's been living off of that income in Japan, which he was making around 2,000 to 2,500 per video, which I mean that's a pretty good USD. That's not amazing, but in Japan that would come out to pretty decent pay. You'd be getting like the equivalent to what would be like living off of 3,000 to 4,000 a month, which it'd be pretty good money in Japan. Um, but his newest video only got $400. Like, oh shit! Like it's hitting all the people like that really hard. On IEPs, I could talk about IEPs. Honestly, I've never heard of IFSPS. Is that? I think I might know what it is, but let me check what that is exactly. IFSPS. What's that abbreviation for? Have you ever met Pete Premier 2? No, I don't know who that is. I've never heard. I've never heard. I've never heard. IEPs I can definitely talk about. What about, okay, what is this one? IFS. Special education. Of course, I figured it was special education. Oh, individualized family service plan. Do we call it the same thing in Florida? The early steps. Oh no, we do. We have IFSP. I've never had to get into one of those. I've definitely had to get into IEPs. I've actually had a bunch of autistic students. They actually almost always get sent to my class because apparently, however, how I teach, like they get along really good in mine. Like if they've been having like outbursts or getting into fights or anything like that, or like triggered by something, they get sent to my art class. And they always, it always goes well. I don't know why. I don't know what I do. But they're calm. So that's a lot of the IEPs I've had. Um, we don't have any like super extreme like ones. Obviously, I can't talk about you know individual students live on a stream. That would be I don't know if that's against school policy, but I just feel like it's incredibly disrespectful. I would never do that. But I can talk to you about some of like the situations. If it's for like a research paper. Lou, I have a feeling you can answer that one yourself. Um, Welcome to the stream, Lou. Seems like it might be your first time here. All right, what do we got? What was the other thing? Okay, I'm doing a paper on them at the moment for my education classes. Yeah, man, T Dog, hit me up. Individualized service plan, like IEP, from birth to 3 to 4. I've never actually had to be involved in one of those. I imagine that's like more guidance counselor and what's the other one? Not ESE, um, SPS. I imagine they're the ones mostly involved with that. You said ask me anything. Yeah, I mean, but why ask me something you can already answer yourself? um, let's see here. What do we got? I've been doing lots of casework for a class with them. Okay. They're great to go over, to be honest. I love learning on this for later. Yeah, man. Why don't you hit me up at my email? Do you know my email of scottmackerman@gmail.com? M as in Michael for the middle there. Um, Hit me up on there, or if you forget or I forget or you don't have that email, hit me up in a message after this stream publishes. Hit me up one more time, and then I'll give you all my contact info and make sure you can get in touch with me. I'm more than happy to go over that. Obviously, I can't list out individual cases, but I can definitely give you all my experience with it. One of my biggest opinions, and this has nothing to do with my students, I feel like the worst part about IEPs and I know what you're talking about now with individualized family service plans. I get to see the 504s and all the info on that for like what they're going through at the time, but I feel like, and I don't know if they use the same thing all over America. Do you guys use Focus? I feel like Focus is garbage. It's this antiquated system in which looking up it literally must be from like 1990, like back when we only had dial-up internet. It is straight garbage. The UI is garbage. Like finding information is garbage. It's doing the report cards on there is garbage. It is the worst, most antiquated, useless system. There's been times where kids have had IEPs on there, and if you guys don't know what we're talking about when I say IEPs, um, to give it a quick definition, it's pretty much like an individualized way that you need to handle the student's education in order to make it more efficient for them. And that can be like anything. Like every 30 minutes, they need to just like take a break and go for a quick walk around the halls and come back and kind of cool off and take in more info. Maybe like certain types of papers that they would have to write or work they'd have to do needs to come in a little bit later because they're given an extra day or two depending on their family situation or their own stipulations for how their education is approached, just like stuff like that. But like finding that info it's so buried in the antiquated garbage system that Focus has set up. And my school has nothing to do with Focus. Like, we use it because we have to, but it's both state and county made. Like, and it's just straight garbage. They need to update it because finding all the different info on there is just you're like you're digging through. You're like, okay, I know this about the kid. I'm trying to find this. No, not this IEP. No, this no. And then sometimes like they'll approve an IEP and then it doesn't show up on their profile for like months upon months upon months, and the parent will call you and be like, "How come you didn't do this? It's on their IEP." And I'm like, "I'm not finding it." And then I go ask the guidance counselor. They're like, "Yeah, I put." The guidance counselor did their job. They put in all the information. The state's just like dragging their feet on updating it. It's so infuriating. I don't know. All right, Jonah, have a good one, man. We'll all hang out again on Discord later tonight. I want to get back in touch with guys and see if we can get maybe we can do some Night Rain if we can all get into it. Or we'll do like some Wilder Myth or something at some point. Eric, I'm glad you've asked. I'm really thinking about buying it this weekend. I just got this is big news for me. I got my normal paycheck, which is always very good. But this year I started an art club, so I get a second paycheck on top of it pretty much. And number one, that's let me slowly recoup the costs that I've had to spend on hurricane stuff, which is lovely. If you're wondering, I'm not doing more repairs, but I'm reinforcing my house to be able to take another hit from a hurricane. I'm making it stronger. But I spent like 10K on that. But I finally got that hit in my bank account, and that's, oh God, so much easier to save money when you get an extra paycheck. Oh man, T-Dog. God. I know exactly what you mean. I can totally talk to you about stuff like this. The thing that I'm just reading what T-Dog wrote here, and I let me just elaborate because my God, what a problem. The thing that bothers me is I've seen some that say this child is out of control, but they're just a young boy who's never had a male role model before, who understands that what being a boy is. Dude, this is like one of the saddest things, man. Like, I see this all the time. And you know what like really hurts the most, like what really pulls at your heartstring, is when you get a kid like that under control and they start saying stuff to you like, "Man, I wish you were my dad." Like, or like they'll accidentally call you dad like out of nowhere. Like, it's seriously like, I don't know how to describe. It's heartbreaking. Like, it's utterly heartbreaking. Where you're like, obviously this kid just needs like, not to say the mother's bad or anything like that, but there's a very different approach to behavior, control in the house, laying down rules and stuff like that, that come from both parents, right? And sadly, like, when they're missing out on this, when they don't get this, like, and you're fulfilling that role for them, which is, it's good in some circumstances, like, you're showing them an example, but when they tell you stuff like that like this is what they feel like they really need in their life, I mean, that's what they're saying, right? When they're saying like, "I wish you were my dad," or they accidentally call you dad, like, it's heartbreaking because you're like, God damn, if the father would just step in and do his goddamn job, like, all right, it makes me both hurt and angry and want to cry at the same time, dude. Fucking sucks. Okay, non-winner. I like halfway read that sentence and I was like, why is non-winner talking about smoking crack that his crack pipe broke? I was like, that is really off key for non-winner. I didn't imagine he'd ever talk about such a thing. And then I read it all the way through and it says, we got a pipe crack or something leaking. We don't have the money to get it fixed. Man, I'm sorry, dude. That sucks, dude. Have you thought about doing like a GoFundMe or something like that? I mean, I'm sure there'd be people willing to help. if you watch one of the biggest anime like Full Metal Alchemist, Hunter x Hunter, you find a father character who doesn't show up or treat their kids well because fathers in Japan leave their kids alone all the time. I thought it's very sad. Man, Phil Moon, you're the only other person I've ever heard bring this up. The only other time I've had this brought up on the channel is people would ask me, they're like, how come in Pokemon, like, the dad's always writing letters and never there? And, like, you always start at the house with your mom getting you ready for the day. And I was like, because that is Japan. And I'm not out to, like, blame the fathers of Japan. The place I want to blame is how the government has never gotten 12-hour workdays under control. Shinzo Abe, when he was, PM, slightly pushed. He was like, hey guys, we really got to start to end work at 5 p.m. All right, let's do that. And like for like a week, businesses kind of were like, oh, yeah, sure, yeah. Okay, guys, go home at 5 p.m. And like the next day, like, could you guys stay maybe till 5:30? What about 6? How about 7? Or, you know what? It's Friday. Why don't you guys just stay till 9 like we usually do? 9 to 9. And like they never reinforce it. It's the same bullshit Japan does over and over and over. It's the same thing they did with English too. In 2011, I got told by multiple schools that I worked with, they're like, hey, have you thought about applying for a teacher's license here in Japan? I'm like, no, I don't have an education degree in Japan to be able to get that. And they're like, well, pretty soon they're saying that every English teacher in Japan needs to be a fluent speaker of English. So I don't know what we're going to do. We're probably going to lose our jobs. And I'm like, really? There's suddenly, I mean, that seems like a pretty drastic change. But at the time, like a bunch of politicians were like, this is ridiculous that we don't know English in Japan, that we have the lowest English literacy rate in all of Asia. We need to have fluent English teachers. And I was like, holy crap. Like, while I'm here, am I going to see this revolution happen where, Japan goes from like the lowest English literacy rate to the highest? No. So you're probably wondering, like, well, Scott, how does that story end? Like, what happened? Did someone like pass a bill, or like something changed their idea? They just stopped thinking. They just stopped talking about it. They're just like, we can't do that. Whatever. And this happens all the time in Japan. Sorry, I took too big of a bite. They'll suddenly realize like something is going really badly, and they'll be like, dang man, you know what we need to do? This. And you're like, oh, that actually sounds like a positive solution that will really, really work. And they're just like, nah, we can't. Whatever. I'm just like, what? You were headed down the right path. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean, whatever? You're not going to do that anymore. And they're just like, nah, I don't know why we said that. That's silly. We're good. We're okay. It's like, it's like literally like the house is burning down around them, and they're like, dude, you know what would be awesome? If we had like a fire department to put this fire out in the house that's burning down around us. Yeah, we should probably get that. You're right. You're totally right. That's the best thing for this fire. A firefighter to come in and beat it. And they're like, yeah, but I mean, the house is already burning. We might as well just let ourselves burn to death inside of it. Yeah, that seems like a pretty good idea. I don't know why we ever talked about a firefighter. Goodbye. Like that's like how they do it. I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah, you're right. Actually, renovation isn't a big thing in Japan. I can talk a little bit about that. What is it? Playbanosh. Am I saying that right? I hope I am. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's kind of interesting. Oh, sorry, super thirsty there all of a sudden. Like hit me hardcore with dry mouth. Um, so one of the things they're not talking about when they're doing these akiyas, which you're talking about like buying an old house, renovating it, and then reselling it. I think it is cool that there's foreigners doing this and stuff like that. I think it will somewhat help revitalize rural Japan in some sense. here's some of the problems that they run into later. So they'll renovate it and maybe they try to resell it. Number one, a lot of people don't buy used houses even if they've been renovated, so it's kind of hard to resell. Number two, a lot of these communities that are rural communities have an HOA and a community center in which once you move into that area, if you do not participate in that, and I don't mean just like, oh, there's an HOA meeting once a month. No, no, no. I mean like all kinds of shit. Like you got to come out there for Setsubun for every Matsuri that they have. You got to harvest the fields together, even if it's not your crops and stuff like this. And like I feel like community is important. It's good, know thy neighbor so that you can help each other in hard times. But there'll be a bunch of old retired people out there who have all the time in the world to do a bunch of extra shit, like all this volunteer work. But they'll also inspect those same people who are working these 12-hour days that I just talked about to also volunteer for this stuff. So imagine you work a 12-hour day, 6 days a week. The only day you have off Sunday, and you're expected to go to some goddamn Matsuri and volunteer at that. Can you imagine? That's where a lot of people get frustrated. They end up not buying those houses that have been renovated. Which, I mean, if you think it's just pure madness. The older generation sometimes is screaming their head off at the younger generation to have more kids and do more for Japan, while doing zero to actually help this younger generation. It's crazy madness. I remember even when my wife was pregnant, like every time we would take a taxi, it would be like a super old dude driving the taxi, and they'd be like, "You're pregnant? You need to have more kids, more." And we're like, "What? Don't like, why are you talking to my wife like this? Like, that's kind of weird, man. Like, we've already had 2 kids. We've done more than enough. Like, we've had what, like double the average." I don't know. It's a weird situation. From what I've seen, they usually sell the house renovated ones to foreigners as like a vacation home. Now that might work. I have seen what you're talking about. Like some people, okay, some people turn it into a B&B. That can work, although B&Bs are kind of on their way out with how pricing has been going recently with them. Sometimes just getting a hotel is way cheaper. But you're right, that's a good one. Vacation homes, yeah, people. Sorry, I got right where my headphones were. Super bad itch. Right, some people have it for the vacation home, and you're totally right. And that does work out for some foreigners who have the money to do it. And that could also work out because obviously an HOA can't be like, wait, you didn't come out for our volunteer Setsubun bean throwing. We were going to all harvest the crops together and chase away boar. And it's like, bro, I'm not here for half the year. I don't know what you're talking about. So I could see that work. That's a very good point right there, Play Banash. And you said, and an Airbnb to recoup the costs. That might actually work out. Yeah, selling them is not worth it. Yeah. Now, the other thing you need to be careful about, one other problem that I've seen people run into, and this is from not my experience, but some of my friends' experience, is they look into it and they're about to buy it, and then they find out, number one, there's massive foundation damage. And the only reason they found this out is by, having to hire like a secondary contractor who will check everything out, or what do you call it? Oh, God, what do you call those people who, a surveyor? Not a surveyor. I forget what the job is called. An inspector. I guess an inspector is the best thing you could call it. Like an overall house inspector, 4-point inspector. It's something I had to do myself before I bought this house. And my God, am I glad I did it. It costs like $400 every time you do it. You just like lose $400. I did it at the first place I was almost about to buy, and I found out the seller was hiding insane problems. Like absolutely insane weird shit. Like just wires crammed into the walls that were connected to nothing. Just like loose wires that were just like, could spark at any time. One of the doors had been kicked off its hinges, and then the hinges had been like really poorly reattached to the frame. They advertised a dishwasher in there, which you're not in there like using a dishwasher and stuff like that, but The dishwasher just was shit. It didn't work. It was just like a broken dishwasher. You can't legally. You're not supposed to be advertising stuff that doesn't actually work. You can't say like I have a dishwasher here when you buy the house, and you can't say that if it doesn't actually work. It's actually illegal. And then I just felt like there was all kinds of stuff. Like there was water damage in multiple parts of the walls. Um, their sliding door was like off of its, I don't know, whatever you call it, like their slide, it was off the railing or whatever. So you should always get an inspector, no matter what country you're in, to do a 4-point inspection. And the biggest thing that people find in Japan is number one, you've got massive foundation problems, and these usually come from a home being very, very old and having survived, but taken massive structural damage through multiple earthquakes and aftershocks. And I'm not talking about ones that actually like knocked an entire place down, but just like wear and tear. The other one is sometimes you have to buy into the house and you have to renovate it, and that renovation has a due date. So even when you buy it, the government's going to say, yes, you are allowed to buy this for 1 yen or free or whatever, but you need to have the renovations done by 6 months. And sometimes when you think like, oh, big deal, like you would just hire a bunch of contractors to renovate all the different parts. Sometimes what they don't tell you is that renovation includes setting up electricity again, as in like the wiring in the house is so ancient, bad, or old that it hasn't worked for ages. No one's lived in this place for so long. And the same with the water too. And I've had one friend who was about to do that, about to buy the whole place, and everything looked cool. It looked great. It looked amazing. Like minimalist, very traditional style, tatami mat and everything. Beautiful, like Buddhist minimalist looking house. And he said the only thing was like there was some kind of problem with the pipes. And so he said, all right, I'll have a contractor take a look. Found out whoever had lived there last, for some reason, I don't know if it was like a project that had gone wrong or what, had decided to just like empty like the remains of like cement down the pipes, like just like poured it out like it was a garbage disposal, which there's not a lot of garbage disposals in Japan, and had clogged them up so badly that to be able to get the water running perfectly again in that house, they'd have to have like land movers come out and like rip all the piping out, replace all of it. He said by the end of it, you were looking at almost like $400,000 in like pipe repairs, reconnecting you to the city's sewer system. Like, really be careful like what you're buying when you buy these sometimes. Shogunai. Shogunai. Indeed, Shogunai. Shogunai is a very useful word, Sorry, nothing can be done. There's horror stories. I mean, the same thing can happen to you in America. Don't feel like this is just a Japanese type thing. You got to be careful wherever you buy a house, dude. Always get that 4-point inspection. I'd say here in Florida, the big plus is if you're setting up a mortgage, oftentimes if you put the 10 or 20% down that you're going to put down, you may end up with a mortgage rate far, far lower than the local rent in your area. Like me, I pay almost $600 less to pay my mortgage than a lot of my friends who rent very, very tiny 1-bedroom apartments, who are paying upwards of $2,000 plus for a 1-bedroom apartment. I can't fucking believe it. Oh damn, I gotta go. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't get to say hi, Osaka. All right, sorry, bud. Thank you for tuning in anyway. That's another one of the mods. I haven't got to talk to Osaka in a while. I got to catch up with him, see how life's going. But in Japan, the kind of crazy thing is if you can get a mortgage, I mean, you can get it super low. Our place was about the equivalent to about $250,000. The house, I say house, it's like a condo. We bought our apartment. We didn't rent it. And even on that $250,000 place that we got, our mortgage was $900 a month. It was really cheap, and it was 4-bedroom. That was a 4 LDK too. We still own it, and 3 more years, we're fully paid off. But but your interest rate was like point. I think we had like 0.01 was like our interest rate or something like that. It was crazy, but I mean that is the plus side. I don't know. I don't think. I think you would. You're always able to buy. I say buy, but these Akias, they're free. They're like free or like 1 yen. But I don't think you would be able to mortgage renovation, if you know what I mean, like or get a loan on renovation. I, as a gaijin, I mean, probably as a Japanese person, like you'd be okay, but much harder to get a loan as a gaijin unless you're married to a Japanese national. I don't know. That's kind of interesting though. Like what play Banash. Have you heard any situations where people have bought the place, they own it, but they find out they need more money than what they have to renovate it, and they try to get a loan? I'd be really interested to hear stories like that. I have a bunch of friends, and they've lived in Japan a long time, and they can't get a Japanese credit card. They can't get a loan in Japan, and I mean, while it sounds like some people are like that's racist just because they're not a foreigner, not really. You could just leave the country if you didn't want to pay it. I've seen it happen. Um, there's no credit score. There's no credit score in Japan. And just recently they started this My Number, which is the equivalent to like the Social Security number, but you're not forced to have to get one. So you can still escape everything pretty much if you're a gaijin, foreigner. You can. There are entire services set up for Akia renovation, even Akia Bank to help finance it. It's a thing. And they work with foreigners too. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. That's something I'd like to research more and just learn a little bit more about. I don't think I'd ever want to buy an Akia. I don't think I'd ever want to get into like real estate in Japan. But that's really interesting. I did not know that. No. Yeah, Akia Banks. I totally understand what you mean. You're good. That's interesting, man. You sound like you're really well researched on this. Have you considered doing it yourself, Play Banash? Have you done an Akia? You like, are you just you're really into like the videos about it and everything like that? I'm getting closer to the student teaching. I'd love to have a chat with you sometime on that stuff. A little something different than just Japanese talk. Yeah, dude, T-Dog, we could totally do that. Like, I mean, we can even go on a call or something sometime, and you're more than welcome to pick my brain, on IEPs. Like I said, I don't know as much about the family plans because I believe that's more of like a counselor type situation. But I mean, I can get into it about Japanese students and everything too, dude. Anytime, dude. Super interesting to talk about. Like I said, hit me up on my Gmail. The official unrested at gmail.com or Scott M as in Michael Ackerman at gmail.com. Hit me up there, and yeah, definitely, man. You're more than welcome to ask me anything about that. And yeah, I'd love to get deeper into like I'd like to talk about IEPs and family plans in the situation of Japanese students, because guess what? There really isn't any. It's really sad. If you think America's setup is bad, man, oh man, you should see Japan's. They just say like, oh, you're just a dum dum and you're gonna go to dum dum school and not even finish all your education. That's what usually happens in Japan, which is just, sorry, but that's just kind of inhumane. I'm not a big fan. Um, and by the way, Phil Moon, I wanted to tell you, man, thank you. Thank you for your comment. Anytime someone makes a comment that gives me a chance to make a video, dude, I gotta say thank you. I mean, you're making the content for my channel. Can I do your Discord? Yeah, dude, go ahead. Are you already connected to the Discord? And if you're not, do we have any mods left in here who can drop that? Sure, because I take so long to do this. Okay, give me a second. Discord. Add, copy link. And by the way, any of you guys can join the Discord at any time. Oh, dang, I want to keep listening to this one video. Oh, well. It's okay. Let's just say, okay. Just a second here. Paste. There we go. Look at me being all technical. Yeah, filming, dude, it's a huge help when people actually like bring up topics. Not only just number one, a current event in Japan. Like I like to stay up to date and not have to rehash the same stuff over and over. But number two, when finally someone speaks up, Phil Moon. This is the craziest thing. Even though we both talked about it, and like it's coming from your perspective, a Japanese person living in Japan, a Japanese national, I still had a few comments, and they never responded, but they were like, "How dare you? You have no right to talk about Japan." And it's the funny thing is, it's not Japanese people; it's gaijin who've never visited Japan. They were the angriest ones who were like, you shouldn't talk about Japan in this dishonorable way and stuff like this. You're way out of line, mister. And it's like, what? Have you ever lived there? Have you ever gone there? Like, if you really love the country, like, learn enough about it so that you understand current events. Don't just have this, like, anime version of Japan in your head. Like, but everything's perfect there. I know I've watched K-On! And Usagi drop, and, like, life's really fun there. Come on. Come on, stop. Get some help. Dang, since JFAC 12? Play Banash, did you live there? Did you go? Or are you still gonna go? If you didn't go, are you gonna go? Wait, T-Dog, you got the link, right? Did it work? Did you connect? I'm gonna check Discord and make sure you got on there. I'm multifaceted. I can do everything all at once. Alright, let's see here. Alright, did somebody try to add me at all? Viscerations, I haven't talked to him in a while. I gotta get back to him too. Dang. I'm so sorry I take forever to answer people on Discord sometimes. When I get like personal messages sometimes on there, I have it not set to like alert me because I've got so many different levels of alerts going on. What happened? It slowed down. No answers yet. Did you add me yet? Did you add me back? I just want to make sure we get you on there, dude. I haven't been yet. But as I wrote up there, I'm trying to figure out a way since the usual doesn't work for me. At least I don't think. Playbanash, have you looked into the digital nomad visa? Have you this is like brand new. It's just come out recently. This is the one I'm recommending to people. All right. And please know, everybody watching, know I don't get any kind of kickback for visas or anything like that. I had someone say that to me recently, like, how come you're always talking about these different visas? What do you get paid to do this? It's like, what? Is there somebody out there who has a job that gets paid by Japan to talk about visas? Maybe they didn't understand what I meant when I said like a visa. Maybe they thought like it was like connected to the visa company or something. Nothing more. I've been in the Discord for a while. You added me like a year ago. Do you have a different name? Or are you T-Dog on there too? Well, T-Dog, message me directly. Message me directly. Did you message me directly? Wait, are you also a Viscerations? Dude, like, okay, just so you know, sometimes if you guys have a different username, like on a different thing, like if I hang out with you on Steam all the time, and then you've also been talking to me in chat here, sometimes I don't realize you're the same person. It's not... Read up a few messages. Oh, okay, let's see. Oh, did I miss one here? Okay, trying to figure out a way to live in Japan. I'm Hungarian and I speak native level English. I don't think they would take me for a teaching job. Okay, but even if you're Hungarian, I'm pretty sure you can still do the digital nomad visa. Have you looked into it at all? Love having streams no. I love having stream no to chat and background sound to draw to. Oh, really? You play these in the background all the time, Grumpy? That's kind of cool. There's some streamers I can watch like that, where what they talk about. Anyway, Phil Moon, dude, if you're down, I'd love it if you just like drop me anything like you're like really this is like what's pissing a lot of people off in Japan, or Japanese people are protesting because of this, or have you heard this one guy in the diet did this. Sometimes I'm not catching as up to date news when it comes out because oftentimes number one, in general, Japanese media like kind of is secretive of like actual, you know, stuff going down in Japan. It's like I almost feel like they're in cahoots with the government most of the time and never telling us what's actually, people are pissed off about or trying to fight against, or, you know, what the government's secretly being greedy about and stuff like that. Always like, hit me up and let me know. I did, but the digital nomad visa would need me to have a fully remote job that I can do also from Japan, which being an IT infrastructure engineer is not possible. It's just, yeah, Phil Moon, I'm down. I'm down to like, if you're like, sometimes I miss stuff, and like sometimes my wife hits me up with it, and she's like, "Dude, have you seen this?" And I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like for example, that one guy recently from SMAP, like how, the big trouble he got into before it all went totally down. My wife contacted me before that and was like, "Hey, have you seen like what kind of trouble this guy is in? I think like big stuff is about to go down for like the channel that hosts the dude from SMAP." And I was like, what is she talking about? So I started to look into it a little bit. And then sure enough, like as I started to talk about it live, like every single advertiser left the channel that he was on. And I was like, oh my God, you guys, 36 different advertisers just left that. And I watched it go down and I was like, oh my God, good information. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Phil Moon. Okay, here. I'm gonna put it in here. I got a couple people and they need to use this. SkyMac at gmail.com. That's my personal email. Hit me up on there if you're not able to like get me to notice something that either you say here in chat. If I miss it, sometimes I do. There's just so much going on. Or if you like leave a comment and I don't immediately respond. Sometimes the way YouTube's comment system works now is just, it's really stupid. Sometimes stuff that I don't restrict people from saying, YouTube just decides that they don't like it. So they'll hold the comment. Well, guess what? I have to go into my comments. I have to switch it to held comments. And then I have to go approve it just to be able to see it. Like, it's so dumb. And it'll be like stuff that's not that crazy to talk about. But but YouTube just decides what they think is okay and not okay. It's just like what they recently did with like restricted access, where they're just like, oh, we should make like a restricted access that limits what people can see, but just never tell anybody about it. And then suddenly, like everybody's videos weren't getting watched anymore. Yeah, Nakai, that's who it is. I couldn't think of his name. Yeah, dude, that was crazy, dude. That guy ruined everything for himself, for SMAP, for his TV channel he was a part of, for the CEOs there, dude. What a creep. What the hell? What sucks is the other guys in SMAP are good dudes for the most part. Like, and he's ruined their whole legacy. It's awful. Ah, I don't know. It just makes me mad when something's so good or like so well put together or so like Japan is, and then one asshole's ruining it for everybody. Like that's what really pisses me off. It's the one guy ruins it for everybody else situation that I sometimes see go down, and it goes down in America too. There's a few things like that have happened in America, but I don't know. It's just so unfair, man. It's just so unfair. I think it's worse in Japan because like in Japan, if someone you're connected to does something messed up and like you're totally innocent, like that can ruin your entire legacy. Like the things that would piss me off the most would be like a person who's an actor, it's an actress, okay? Their kid is a piece of shit and they do some kind of crime and the actress or actor has to come forward to the press and be like, "Gomenasai, shimasu." And you're like, "Why are you apologizing for your shithead kid who's a full-grown adult? Like you didn't do this. You did the best you could to raise them. They turned into a complete asshole, did something crazy." And now you're up here apologizing for them and your whole career's ruined. Or like what happened with Becky, where the guy was cheating on his wife, that guy from Sakai no Owari. He was cheating on his wife, or like about to get married. It was something like that. And he cheated on his wife. Becky didn't know he was married. And then Becky's career was ruined because of that. And it's just like, Becky didn't know. Like what the fuck? Like this guy cheated on this guy cheated on his wife. He's an asshole. If Becky didn't know, like I don't know. That shit pissed me off too. My videos don't get watched much. Makes me wonder if you might want to let your viewers know. Like if you cover anything even slightly controversial, like for example, I mean this is not that crazy. What was the last thing I had restricted by all my viewers? Give me a second. Japanese furious with their useless politicians. This got restricted. So did Japan really doesn't want you to know about this. Those videos got sent to my restricted list. The one that didn't get restricted was me telling everybody I'm finally back in America to make videos again. But then Hikikomori for 30 years. The video about the guy who what do they call it, the 50-80 problem, where there's a problem where recently the people who are hikikomori are getting up there in age, and now the roles are reversed where the hikikomori has to take care of their aging parents. That was restricted. Like I'm not talking about death or murder or killing or anything like that. Restricted. It's lovely. And then YouTube just never tells us. Now, I don't make any kind of livable wage. A really, really, really good month for me with be almost 8 videos. 8 videos a month. Can you imagine this? 8 videos a month, and usually, if you include live streams, almost 12 videos a month. $200. That's what I make. About $200. That's a really good month. So, don't feel too bad, non-winner. Gotta love YouTube, right, guys? Anyway, got my email up there for you. Phil Moon, you got it, and Play Banash. I feel like we can somehow talk you through this and get something set up. Like, I always want to try, especially people, you've been with my channel for how long? Since JFAC 12. We could look into something to get you out there. There's got to be other ways around it. I'm thinking now, like that, as I'm talking to everybody here, I've been trying to go through my visa playlist because if you guys don't know, I get paid for every visa I get everybody to take. Oh, I wasn't supposed to talk about that, and the Japanese government's going to be mad at me for that. No, there's got to be something, dude. I'm trying to think of like other ways you could do it. Have you ever thought about trying to do like the farm visa, the work farm visa? I mean, I don't know, just anything to get your foot in the door. I just feel like anybody who's really determined, if they get over to Japan and they're able to just like pound the pavement and look for a job, those people that do that usually do end up getting to stay there. I actually wanted to do what you and Chris Abroad do. I wanted to do J-Vlogs, but from a Hungarian's perspective. But my first application fell through since I'm too old. I'm 39 and it's kind of hard. Application for what? Like application for a job or application for a visa? God, 39 is old. What does that make me? Holy shit! Like I'm ancient. Yeah, yeah, non-winner. Definitely your Dear China video. It's getting restricted. It's. I mean, look at the silly things. Like I'm talking about like a person getting like harassment at work until they like finally left Japan, and that one's getting restricted. Like how is I guess YouTube is pro bully? I don't know, dude. Like they just it does. There's no rhyme or reason. They just decide via algorithm. Yeah, never too old, bro. You can do it. Except Phil Moon. Thank you, thank you. Good, good play. Um, what else could you do? Well, anyway, email me and let me know some of the stuff that you tried, and then I mean, I still have my company there in Japan. I can look through the different things I had set up to get like visas. I'm not saying that that company can get you a visa. I'm not saying that at all. In fact, it probably can't right now just due to the fact that it's only singly employing one Japanese person and one gaijin right now. I think that they like kind of level each other out. But I have all the paperwork there of like different ways visas worked for like work. Like there's certain situations where it's like if they've got this background, then there's a possibility to do this. If there's some kind of skill you have that can't be met by the country, that ups your level of being able to get the visa. Hence, that's why English teachers were always able to come over there. I wonder if I do ads for. Do you not? You don't turn on ads, non-winner, dude. You've got to turn on ads. It's not that I want people to have to watch ads. If you don't turn on ads because you're not making money for YouTube, they'll like just not care about your video. They won't list your video. They'll it's almost like blacklisting yourself. It's because their greed comes before your actual watches and views and stuff. They care more about, oh, is this video is not making any money for us? Oh, who cares? Get out of here. Whatever. You got to turn the ads on. As much as it sucks. Yeah, if I could allow everybody to skip ads and just like, you know, I got money for views instead. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, you don't turn on the ads, right? Do you have AdSense? Are you connected to AdSense? I know you have to be like at a certain subscriber level and view level. Never too old, yeah. Anyway, let's hop on there. Let's get in touch, and let's try to find out what we can do for you, Play Banasha. There's got to be something we can figure out there. And then Film Moon, just keep in touch, man. Let me know what's going on. Non-winner, let's do a check later tonight. I'm gonna turn on restricted, okay? And I'm gonna go to your channel. I'm gonna tell you how many of your videos are blocked. All right? All right, guys. I'm gonna jump onto the Discord. I'm gonna take a break from here because my voice is wearing down, and I'm a tired baby. Anyway, good stream. Um, Love connecting with you all, and thank you always, guys, for like you guys are just always like very balanced. There's good conversation, good dialogue going on here. It's something I wish I could see more of in America, where even though we've all got different views and stuff like that, and we come from different places, we can all just come together, collab, talk peacefully, and hang out and enjoy each other's time. I wish we could do that all around the world. All right? You have to have 1,000 subs. Yeah, there's some kind of AdSense situation where it's like 1,000 subs or like so many hours watched or like whatever. Anyway, come join me on Discord. Let's hang out there. We'll talk more. And hit me up on my Gmail too for any specifications we can help get you through certain situations or update me on news. All right. Until next time, guys, I hope you have a great